Heard of smart bidding exploration? Well, I hadn't until recently, but it's one of Google's latest new products. And in today's video, I want to explain what it is and how you could potentially use it for your Google Ads strategy. So what you need to do is come into settings, and then you'll see the smart bidding exploration beta. This is being rolled out. A number of accounts should have this, but if you don't see it under bidding, then it just means you need to wait a little bit longer. Google does roll it out over time, and that's what it's been doing for the last few months. So let's come to the documentation around this and the understanding of how Google explains, and then I'll kind of explain it a little bit better is what I'm trying to do with this video. So Google says increase traffic diversity with Google AI. Obviously, they love the word AI. They use it as much as possible. But in a nutshell, the types of campaigns that we could use this on would be ones that are already working. It's as simple as that. So a couple of criteria amongst the campaigns that are working. Keywords, search terms, we know exactly what's working. Campaigns are dialed in. You're in a TROAS, so your campaigns are running on TROAS strategy and you're consistently hitting your results. So you need to be having campaigns that keywords are dialed in, TROAS strategy, and also you're consistently getting your results over a period of 30 days. So Google knows the history of your keywords and your searches because it's really dialed in. So say, as an example, you had a TROAS strategy of 400%, then Google will know what audience to show your ads for. But if you've got all this working, then potentially they can be restraints. And when I say restraints, Google will continually get you those results, but it may not show what we're saying is that Google's AI may not go outside of those parameters, as an example, to look for new search terms or new auctions. And what this particular smart bidding exploration does, it explores additional auctions at a lower TROAS. So let's jump back into the actual Google Ads account and let me run through this with you. So when we come to smart bidding exploration, if you click on allow smart bidding to explore new traffic on this campaign, we have a tolerance, a ROAS tolerance of between 10 and 30%. So 10% being not so aggressive, and then obviously 30% being more aggressive. So if we actually jump back into the documentation, how this works around keywords is for, say, a mortgage broker, we're looking to query pool without smart bidding exploration. So this is just a normal search campaign with just these queries. So we've got mortgage and 30 years fixed without smart bidding exploration. So we're missing out on a number of different searches. But if we got the smart bidding exploration on, then we can see we trigger how to buy a home from the exploration, first time buyer from the exploration. We're straight away increasing the number of terms that we can query by adding this setting. And this is all based on how aggressive you want to actually put your campaign. So 30% obviously is going to be more aggressive, like I said, and 10% is going to be less aggressive. So with Google, it's ebbs and flows. If you want more to search for different auctions, to look for new kind of terms, then we need to say to Google, you can do this. But what they're saying is if you do this, then your ROAS may not be that 200% for the overall campaign. You're going to lose either between 10 and 30%, which we can see here. And additionally, it says with smart bidding exploration, your effective target ROAS is 140% if it's at 30%. Note this estimate doesn't include effect of ad group level ROAS targets. So just remember that as well. So that's if you're using your smart bidding exploration. So what I want to do is let's jump into an example. I'm a very visual person. And when I'm explaining things, I like to also understand visually what it looks like. So if this is our 200% ROAS, we're targeting 200% ROAS, we've got a bit of a smiley face, we're making some money, where keywords are dialed in, auctions, we know Google knows exactly what auctions to show our keywords in, and we're consistently getting our, say, 30 conversions over 30 days. So we're happy campers. But Google won't go outside of this circle into the unknown, which is outside of what we're targeting. Why? Because we've said that we want a 200% ROAS, a TROAS. So if we're doing that, Google will be consistent with the results. We're happy with that. But by adding in this strategy, what we're saying to Google is, go ahead, take some of what we want, go and explore. So go and explore here, here, and here. And we're happy for you to do that, knowing that the TROAS may come down by 10% or 30% based on what we tell it. So if you want to be less sort of aggressive, then you'll just go to these kind of areas. If we're going to be more aggressive, then we're going to come out to these areas. But you've got to think Google is a long-term platform. Don't think of Google as a short-term goal. This will give you more data, which potentially could actually improve your ads. So let me explain this in a different way. Say this is our ceiling, and we're getting 30 conversions month one. Month two, we're getting 30 conversions. By adding in the smart bidding exploration, what we're doing is we're breaking above the ceiling, and then we're sneaking above here, and then this, which was the unknown, becomes the known, because we're finding new auctions, new search terms, and potentially this is going to reflect on the campaigns further on down the line. So by adding in these explorations, we're going to uncover new search terms. Let me come back and explain a few kind of concepts around Google. I want to explain two concepts, what you could potentially use this for and where you wouldn't use this. So the first thing is, if you have a campaign that's, say, spending $100, £100 a day, you've set a budget of 200 a day, and your campaign's spending 100 a day, and you're consistently getting results. You've got a TROAS of, say, 300%. You know what the search terms are. You can see the search terms every month. Campaign's doing well, but you think it could do better. You're not spending all of your budget. Well, potentially adding a smart bidding exploration between 10 and 30%, you could potentially unlock more auctions, which means rather than just spending the 100, and so you've set the budget, you want Google to spend 200, but it's only spending 100. By adding in this strategy, you could potentially unlock more auctions, which could increase over the long term what you can spend. So you could get closer to that 150, 200 per day by adding in this strategy. Like I said, there's limitations with Google. It will only target what you ask it to do. But if you ask it to do more, which this strategy does, then it'd be a great thing for you to add on to your strategy to spend more or to unlock more auctions, which is going to be search terms, and kind of go into the unknown. Remember, you're kind of controlling Google's AI by setting the TROAS strategy. You're saying, go and find me more of unknown auctions that potentially could be more business for me. But the caveat is it's going to be a lower ROAS. But we're looking long term. We're not looking short term. We're not looking over the last 7, 14 days. We want to look 30, 60, 90 days ahead, knowing that we're going to uncover some data. Before I carry on, if you like this type of thing and you've got a Google Ads account and you want me to have a look and go through like what I'm doing currently and explain what's going on with your account, I'd love to jump in and actually audit your account. It's one of my favorite things that I like to do. So if that's something of interest, let me know. So let's get back to this presentation. So another strategy that I'm looking at to implement this with Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. What I'm looking to do is, one thing I love doing is experiments. By running an experiment with traffic and then implementing this strategy, so you could safely test with an experiment by doing a 50-50 split or 20-80 split, whatever you want to do. Adding this strategy, you could potentially uncover some great strategies for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which could, in essence, improve your results considerably. So that's another way that I'm potentially looking at implementing this strategy over the next kind of 4 to 6 weeks. I don't have a lot of data points on this, so I'll be honest with that, but this is how I'm looking to implement the smart bidding exploration moving forward. Now, there's a couple of times that you wouldn't necessarily use this particular strategy. Number one, if you're limited by budget, then there'd be no point in doing this. You could just literally just increase the budget. It's as simple as that. And number two, if you have a high search impression share, something that is quite understandable is if you have a high search impression share, again, there's not much more you can go into audience wise. So that, again, there'll be no point in implementing this particular strategy for that. So they're probably the two main times that I wouldn't use this particular strategy.